Hi, welcome to season 2 of the Pink Lion podcast. Today, I wanted to talk about one of the things that we've noticed through the Pink Lion community is that many people began opening spiritually after experiencing deep grief and or trauma. Today, we're talking with Keely, who found our community after losing her fiance Mark shortly before their wedding. Through that loss, she began experiencing signs, intuition, and eventually stepped into developing her own mediumship abilities. Keely, thank you for being with us today. Before
Thanks
we
for
get into
having me.
anything and everything, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yes, this was like the hardest question when you sent it over because I was like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like I really don't. Before all of this started, I was an illustrator. I wrote a children's book. Before that, I was in education. I worked with children with autism. So I've had a lot of different journeys along the way and like career paths. And now I'm kind of at like, I feel like the bottom of a mountain, like starting over. And I don't know a lot about what's next. But yeah, I, and then I like am associating like who I am with what I do. And I'm like, I don't know. In a lot of ways, I feel more in tune with myself than I ever have. And yeah, I'm just kind of okay with being present and not knowing what's next at the moment.
Well, you're a
I am. I am.
you're a friend.
Yes.
Are you a
Yes.
sister?
I am a sister. Yeah, I have a sister. And yeah, we're the only siblings. My dad and my mom are still married after many, many, many years. I grew up in Kentucky. I'm from the South. So grew up with a lot of Christian culture, which has been interesting as I've stepped into this. I have a lot of people that I know from before who would be like, this is like you're flirting with demons, you're doing all this crazy stuff. And like, I'm like, but I'm actually doing it. So I actually know what I'm doing. And there's not a demon involved. So that's interesting. But yeah, growing up in that culture definitely shaped who I am. And a lot of those things I've had to unlearn and deconstruct. And yeah, I'd say in the last like 5 years, like I am a completely different person than I was before.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, just having to let go of a lot of those like embedded beliefs and the way I was raised and the way I grew up and keep the ones that like are good and let go of the rest kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of find this very interesting because as we ask the question, who are we? Right?
Hmm.
We talked about the branches of grief briefly the other night, and that's a big question of like who
Hmm.
we are. And it's good that you can't quite answer that yet. That just means that your journey is beginning and you're starting to maybe become aware of all of that
Yeah.
because it's a complex, complicated question to ask. There are surfacey things that you just listed that you're aware of, but inside,
Hmm.
deeply, um, I believe we are all divine souls having a
Yeah.
human experience. And so when we understand it, maybe at that level, you can peel back. Maybe in the next 6 months, I'll have you back on here again and you can answer a little bit more. But as far as you and grief, um, tell us about your fiance, Mark, and how you guys met. What was your relationship like? And what were you both looking forward to before he passed?
Yeah. So we met in the dating app land. And I like to call it the pits of hell. I don't believe in hell anymore, but if there was a hell, it would be something like that. We met, I just hated like the small talk that came along with it, where it's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, fine. And he was never like that. He was immediately like, do you want to get lunch on Thursday? And I was like, yeah. So he was intentional from the very beginning, which is something I had never experienced before. I came from, like, purity culture, like, Christian boys who offered me a lot of situationships and very little meaningful connection. Mark, like, flipped that on its head and was like, "No, like, this is what I want." Like, he knew before I knew. Yeah, very much, like, pursued me in a very real way, and he is super passionate and was a, location manager for a show called The Chi that's on Showtime. Um, he did music. He was a painter of miniatures for a little game called Warhammer that he played with like his nerdy friends. Very much nerd vibes. So I'm still involved in their like little friendship. So that's been very sweet. But yeah, just like imagine the most passion you can fit into a person, and like that's what he had. He had cancer when he was 15 as well, osteosarcoma, and it had like a 1% chance of survival, and he beat it. And so I think since then, he lived like knowing that like he had to make every second count, and like he really did. Like up until July, he passed in September, he was like planning like an Airbnb for us to run and like trying to like get his business, like his board game business off the ground, and like he never stopped. And so yeah, he brought that same passion, like, into our relationship and, like, took me around Chicago like a tour guide, like, he knew all the best spots, and, like, we went to, like, a Japanese garden and, like, these, like, hole-in-the-wall food places, and, yeah, it was really, really special for the first few months, and, I actually yeah, I'll pause on the sad part, but yeah, we were excited about the future and, like, literally just wanted, like, a normal life. Like, we wanted to, like, move to a house. We lived in a condo, and, we, like, picked our flower girl and little ring bearer, and, yeah, we just wanted a normal life. We didn't want anything crazy. Like, we just wanted to feel steady and, um, yeah, just build something together. We did want to, like, adopt children and stuff like that. Um, yeah, and we continued to be dreamers until, like, the very end. Like, we maintained, like, a hope in, like, what could be and, like, maybe will be in another lifetime, I don't know. But, yeah, um, yeah, he's truly, like, an enigma of a person, and, yeah, that's how I would describe the beginnings.
I love that.
Yeah.
And how did he propose to you?
We were at the Japanese garden, so we'd been there, like, 4 times prior, and it was always, like, kind of a pivotal moment, like, it was the first time, like, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and then it was, like just, like, big conversations tended to happen there, and so we went
Mhm.
back there, and he proposed, and that was, right after we'd gotten, like, some pretty intense news health-wise, and
Mm.
so it was, like, a very mixed, like, really happy and, like, scared of losing everything, but, a really beautiful moment, and I wouldn't have, like, changed it at all. Yeah, he was just like, "Whatever comes, like, I want you to be there for it," and, like, that's what it was, so,
That's really profound, actually.
yeah.
So you got this health news. Um, you want to explain what that was?
Yeah, so I actually knew he had cancer, like, pretty close after we started dating, and it was, like, at that point, melanoma, so it was, like, under control, and the treatment was working, and, like, the little tumor was shrinking, and it was, like, gonna be just, like, a surgery to remove it. We were gonna move on, and, along the way, many health-related shifts happened, and he had that surgery, to remove it, and they found out his appendix was enlarged during that CT scan, and that ended up being a completely different type of cancer, um, called, like, a low mucinous neoplasm situation, and he ended up having to have another surgery for that, um, like a full abdominal situation. And then the melanoma was under control. That surgery actually did not work. They couldn't, like, get all of that out, but it was a slow growing cancer, so that got put on the side. And then the melanoma came back with a vengeance, and in May when he proposed was when we found out that the cancer had gotten into his spinal fluid. Um, so that required an intense series of treatments, including like proton radiation to his head and spine and an injection into the spinal fluid into his head. So
Oh,
intense, incredibly intense. So he proposed right before he started all of those treatments. Um, and yeah, there's like, regrets that come up with like, did we need to do all that? Like, did we like make his quality of life worse by trying? But like, I know in my heart that like he would not have had it any other way. Like, he was a fighter. So he would not have rested unless we tried everything. And the brain and spine stuff ended up actually working, but the cancer, the rest of his body progressed really, really quickly. And yeah, we didn't make it to hospice. That was like floated around back and forth, and it kind of ended pretty quickly. He started feeling really bad end of July, and by September 4th, he was gone. So it was pretty intense there at the end.
yeah. I'm really sorry for your loss,
Yeah, thank you.
Keely. But not for that happening, I don't know if I would have met you.
Very true. Yeah,
And so I'm grateful that we were able to meet despite the circumstance,
yeah, me too.
because you've been very special to me in my life. Um,
Mhm.
I feel you're very special because we met not long after his passing.
Yeah.
Um, it's funny as you're talking about these things, I'm like, yep, I read that. She's validating that reading. Yep, I read
Mm,
that. She's validating that reading. Um, Mark is a very clear communicator on the other side, but I will hold off on going there because you have
mhm.
to share how your awareness expanded with the grief and like how this actually felt for you and your body, your awareness. Like you grew up in a religious structure. So what happened like after Mark passed? I mean, nothing was going on before that, I assume.
Nothing like this, no. I would say I've always been, like, an intuitive person, like, I can read a room and, like, know the vibes, but yeah, as far as this goes, absolutely not. When he was on his deathbed and unconscious, I said, "Send me butterflies," which now I know is super generic, and I wish I chose something different, but I get them all the time. So, literally, when I left the hospital that day, a butterfly flew across my windshield. So that was, like, an immediate, like, 5 minutes after I left him in the hospital, like, boom. Yeah, and those have come, like, over and over and over and over again. Now I've changed, like, the things that I'm asking for, um but yeah, he I knew in my heart that, like, he was out there somewhere, and then I was like, "Well, I gotta find out where the heck he is," like, so I told, like, his best friend the night he passed, he stayed the night with me, and, I was like, "I need to talk to a medium. I need to debrief, like, the death. I need to know, like, how he feels about how things went." Like, I just wanted to, like, continue the conversation.
Did you just say debrief the death?
Yeah, I wanna be like, "Are you good with, like, how things went?" Or, like that's literally, like I was like, "I just wanna continue chatting, like, about what just happened because that was wild, and, like, you're my person, and, like, who else am I supposed to talk to this like, about this with?" So, yeah, that was my initial, like, "I know he's out there, I gotta find him because we have stuff to talk about."
Wow.
Um, yeah.
Really? I just sorry, viewers or listeners. Keely, you never cease to surprise me. Oh my gosh. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm laughing because I personally know her, and so I know this story, but not super well. But that's really funny, and it's so your personality too. Okay,
Yeah,
continue. Sorry.
um so after that, I remember the morning after just walking out to like I was like, take me to the water. I need to go to the water. And so I went to Lake Michigan and just stared at the water. And I was like, I know you're out there. Like, I'm going to need you to find me and I'm going to need us to connect. And then I started getting all of the TikTok mediums popping up on my feed and was like, intrigued. Um, 2 weeks after, I went to a gallery reading in, like, this spirituality store by me that, like, I had randomly walked into and was like, "Well, this, like, could be some crazy stuff that is nothing, or Mark could talk to me." And then Mark talked to me, and this guy validated, like, our relationship, and he was like, "There's a feels like there's a celebration, but, like, it didn't actually happen." And I was like, "Yep, that's true." He, like, brought up 3 at that moment, it had been exactly 3 weeks, I think. And yeah, just, like, brought up his mannerisms, like, the way he was talking, and I was like, "Okay, like, I feel like I spoke with Mark just now, like, that's wild." And so, yeah, I, like, felt like I was high. Like, I was like, "Yay," like, I've established, like, connection again, and now I just want it, like, to grow deeper. And so that was, like, my goal with, like, mediumship and everything was, like, I just wanted to figure out how to feel him and how to communicate in a new way. Um, with that, obviously, I'm really freaking sad. Like, I am grieving. Like,
Yeah.
I'm being torn between, like, this is so unfair and, like, let me see what we can do now. Like, yeah, it was both the entire time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I found your live and things changed.
Things did change a
Mhm.
lot,
Yeah.
a lot. I feel like your whole life has changed. I mean, obviously with his passing, but for you specifically in your own journey and working through grief, which we'll talk about in just a moment, because some people might feel like we're floating away or having like a delusion or something like this. That's
Mhm.
not what this is.
Mm-mm.
We both understand the difference. Um, do you want to explain your experience with how it I know that that's how it first started, but when did you start feeling him, sensing it? What did that feel like for you?
Okay, so yeah, the first time I like felt his energy, I was crying looking at pictures of him, and I think it was like our engagement pictures, and I felt this like crazy like burst of energy and chill running up and down my back, and I had a complete knowing that he was looking at the pictures with me. Um, and then a while later, a medium on a TikTok live, spirit led, brought up that moment and was like, "I see a picture of you. He's spinning you around like this." And I was like, "Yep." Um, and she was like, "I feel like you were looking at those recently." And I was like, "Yep." And she was like, "He was there." And I was like, "I know." So like he made it a point to be like, "No, you're not crazy," because obviously I'm
Yeah.
doubting
Right.
everything.
Right. Of course, because that's what the brain does.
Yeah, and it still does. Like, I still have like, when I get rid of one doubt, I'll have another one pop up. Like, maybe they're just reading my energy and, like, all the memories that I have in my body, like, related to him, and he's not actually there. Like, your brain does crazy stuff to, like, try to convince you that, like, this isn't real because, society has told us this isn't real, so you feel crazy. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but that moment was, quite altering for me, the moment that, like, I could actually feel it. Um So, yeah.
What happened when so you're on my live
Mhm.
at some point. You're part of the community because that's what we're doing is community building. How did you feel? How do you feel about being part of that community? Because then it took the next step into going into the intuitive workshop. So, where you discovered you actually have the ability to speak to spirit. So, that's something completely different,
Mhm.
which I'm just not sure how you felt about the community. Did you participate in the visualizations? Were they successful for you in communicating with Mark? Like, how did that process kind of go for you?
Yeah, I definitely was, like, a silent viewer for, like, probably a month or 2. Was definitely participating in the visualizations, and I was like, "This is cool," but my brain's like, "But it's just your imagination, so chill out." Um, but then I'm realizing, no, like, it's not, like, um, yeah, there was something more, and it was just a very safe place, and I think The day that I signed up for the intuitive workshop, I had been trying to do automatic writing that morning, with him and, like, trying to talk to him that way. And he came through to you and was like, "Someone's trying to write or something, and, like, they want you to know that they hear you and, like, to keep trying," or something like that, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So it just happened to be, like, I was like, "Me." I was doing that. So, yeah, the day I signed up for it right after that is when you did that, and that to me was just, like, a big ol' validation of, like, you're in the right spot. Um, and of course, I had no idea what to expect with the
Neither did
workshop.
I. Everyone just kept saying, "Will you please do this? Will you?" And I'm like, "I'm not ready to do this." But then I sat with it and realized that I can be a student and a teacher at the same time. And who's to say when is right and when is wrong? And you guys obviously felt like you needed more. So, yeah. So I jumped into the pool with all of you.
Mhm.
So I think we were all a little surprised
Yeah.
with what
Y
happened next. But you signed up, you came in, and the very first class, we started to I'll just take over from here for a second, but we started to explore how certain words and emotions felt inside of our body. What
Mhm.
what what do we experience when we say or feel this certain thing? You had the most, like, I remember you specifically having the most, like, feelings in your body of tingling, of warmth, of something going on inside your body that you became very aware of in that moment. And I thought, oh, that's so interesting because I don't experience those things that way. Everything for me is visual
Mm.
versus feeling it. And so, but you were feeling it first. I don't really even remember how we started doing mediumistic stuff, but I think I asked you guys to, like, just for shits and giggles, like, exploring a song and seeing what you get from this particular song that had meaning to me
Mhm.
with spirit specifically. And you guys were getting a lot of good in, like, you guys were getting the story.
Yeah.
You were getting the story of what I experienced with spirit through the song, right? Is that what
Mhm.
happened? I think that's what
Yeah,
happened.
that definitely happened. I think first we read you, and I
Oh
was
yeah,
like
that's right.
I got, like, Ice Cube, and I was like and you were like, "My ice machine's been broken." I was like, "Oh my gosh." Um, and then I got, like, goldfish, and then I saw a license plate that literally said goldfish the next day. Like, just,
Oh,
like,
that's right.
crazy stuff started happening where, like, I was like it was, like, leaking into my real life. But
That's
yeah, then
right.
the song thing was super validating too. Yeah, I don't remember how we crossed over either into talking to the other side.
I don't know, it just sort of naturally kind of
Yeah.
progressed. I totally intended it to be your own intuition exploring it and, like, reading energy, but, like, not doing anything like this. However, all 12 of you
Mhm.
in the class are, like, opened up to mediumship quite
Yeah.
easily, which goes to my whole thought of we all have this ability, except we bury it because of all these other ideologies or traumas or whatever gets buried. I mean, institutions and society has us believing certain things or teaching us certain things, but who we are, which goes to the very first question of who you are these spiritual beings having a human experience. And so when we understand it that way, not the other way around, we're not human beings having a spiritual, a soul experience, we're a soul having a
Mhm.
human experience. When you understand it that way, you understand what your mind limits you on doing. And if we
Mhm.
take that piece out and get more in touch with that divinity inside, there's a lot we don't know that we can do. We
Yeah.
don't know what we don't know. And so if you
Mhm.
just take those thoughts out of your mind and just allow the information to come in, you get the downloads now, right? Yeah, they come in and it's quite interesting and sort of insane. Um, Welcome to
Yes.
the world of mediumship.
Yeah.
When you started first reading other people and, like, getting correct information, like, you guys blew me away. Like, blew
Crazy.
me away.
Mhm.
How do you feel now? You're still dealing with grief,
Yeah.
yet still dealing with this exciting thing on the other side of the spectrum. So, how are
Mhm.
you balancing the two?
Yeah, I think the first biggest thing I took away was, like, grounding myself, and, like,
Yeah.
I that was, like, a huge thing for me. I didn't know what that meant. People kept talking about it, and I was like, "Oh." And then, like, learning, like, how to drop into my own body and, like, be aware of myself. I would say I was probably, like, pretty disassociated from, like, my body, and, like, I was in fight or flight for, like, at least a year. So I had to some work to do to, like, be able to center myself. Um, but yeah, when I started getting the hits and they were right and people were like, "Whoa," I was like, this is I mean, it's wild. It's truly wild. Like, I don't understand it. I never will understand it, but I cannot not believe that, like, it's real because all of these people who had no experience are now, like, we're all chatting with each other's dead relatives and loved ones. Like, it's just not casual, and, yeah, I think it's something that, like, if you're a skeptic, you don't believe unless you've done it or you've been validated in, like, a mediumship reading. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
How has mediumship helped you through your grief?
Yeah, this has been the absolute best thing for my grief. Everything else is, lets me experience my grief, feel my feelings, and this is, like, not a break from it, but like a reality check of, like, this isn't it. And, like, being able to communicate with other people's people, like, it expanded my mind and my heart and my worldview, like, times 100, and, like, it's made grief smaller. People talk
Yeah.
about grief being, like, in a box, and the grief button gets triggered and your box, like, gets bigger over time. This, like, greatly increased the size of my box, I would say. Um, just it's just cool, and, like, to feel spirit and to have the knowing and, like, it just feels like I don't know, you just feel connected in a way that you have never felt connected before, like, to the universe, to people. Like, I find myself, like, walking through grocery stores and, like, looking people in the eyes more, like, just knowing how connected we all are. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Expand on that. It's totally fine. Like the
yeah,
oneness.
yeah. Just since I know that I have the ability to connect into literally, like, a stranger and, like, feel connected to them because I'm connected to their loved ones, like, the love is so much bigger and more powerful than I could have ever known if I didn't dip my toes into this. Like, I knew Mark's love, and I knew that was not going to leave, but to actually physically feel it from people I have never met before coming into me and, like, your person, the pink lion, like, the amount of love that I felt, like, it's world changing, it's life changing, and it makes you want to go into the world and, like, smile at people and be like, "We're all out here, like, this is not it. Everyone's struggling, like, no matter, like, what they're going through. Like, this world is for struggle. Like, there's joy, but, like, we're supposed to be learning lessons." And, like, I don't know, I just have a greater empathy for humanity as a whole because of what I've been through with both grief and then experiencing this firsthand.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been wild for me too. And I know that I'm sure you can talk about Pink Lion if you want and experiencing that. I'm going to talk about Mark for a minute because there was a reading I recently did with you in practice,
Mhm.
um, where Keely was reading me and I was reading her. So we were practicing together. Mark shows up and he's very active in our group, by the way. Like, no one can get away from Mark. He'll disguise himself as we do spirit led. He comes in so many different ways. And but Keely knows all of them once the medium starts. The medium has no idea what's going on. or
Mhm.
who they're initially communicating with as soon as it starts feeling. But Mark's come through to me for, I don't know, 3 or 4 times already. I don't know, personally. So, like, I spot his energy. He can't hide from me very well anymore. I've got his energy down, but the amount of love that he has for Keely, there was a time that he was explaining their whole, like, beginning dating process and how much, like, I got to feel it from his vantage point or viewpoint and explain it to Keely. And she was able to validate where they were at, and because he was showing me exactly where it took place. Well, I didn't know the name of the place, but I could describe where they were at and how he was feeling and where she was sitting, what was on the table, those sort of things for her to validate. If I'm getting all that information correct and then I'm feeling like this girl, this woman sees me, I don't have to be somebody I'm not with her. I can share everything and open up and be this person for her. So the amount of love that came through in that reading for her was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, it was very special for Keely, but then he goes on
Hmm.
and on and on and on and on. I'm back in their house. We're in bed, cuddling, nothing crazy, just the morning kisses that he liked to have and what side of the bed and what was going on, and then bathroom stuff.
Mhm.
He was very detailed about him taking it
Incredibly
through,
detailed.
and it was incredibly detailed. And so when I tell you like, I would not have known this is everyday stuff that they went through. She has never discussed it with us. This is the most I've heard in any forum from Keely. She keeps everything very close because she understands that we should not know these things
Mhm.
when we read her. So the truth is, the spirit has a lifetime of memories to come through and tell stories about, and they will if you allow it. But that love that he has for her, and I can't even say had because to me, he's not gone. He's just transformed into another thing, another
Mhm.
form of energy. And he's still with her. He always comes in with her. Like you walk in, she comes in any Zoom room, boom, there's Mark, like constantly. And so he very much loves her and is with her and trying to help her develop as a developing medium. So, what was your experience with having the pink line come through? That was profound. Mark was profound for me. But
Yeah. Yeah. It was profound. I think that was the second time I read him, the time I'm thinking about, and him talking about I think I got, like, his passing, how he passed, and, like, felt that he had yeah, the brain stuff, and then
yeah,
I just felt, like, this sadness that, like, he was gonna miss, you guys, and then it was, like, this absolute wave of just, like, complete and utter, like I don't even know how to describe it, like, warmth in my stomach, chills all over my body, like, just, like, the kind of love that makes you want to, be like, "I love you," like, scream it from, like, the mountaintops,
yeah,
and then sorry, and then he said, "There would have never been enough time," and I think that that was so, impactful because that's everyone, like, there would have never been enough time, no matter how old you are, no matter how you pass, like, there will never be enough time here, and luckily this is not it, but, like, to validate that feeling of, like
good job. Yes, yes, yes. We continue
yeah,
on.
we continue on, but our human brains, like, need to know that, like, there would have been enough time to express the amount of love that, like, I have for you. Um,
Right.
yeah, so that was a huge
And here's the thing about mediumship, we get to feel the emotion of spirit, right? So, like, we get to feel that overwhelming feeling of love. That's what I was really hoping you'd kind of touch in on because oftentimes we're told by Christians, Catholics,
mhm,
any sort of religion, we're dealing with evil spirits or monitor spirits or I don't know, some crazy stuff. Like, you're going to tell me there's a spirit going out of his way to like monitor and speak up for the other spirit standing there to trick you for what? What are they tricking
mm,
you for?
right.
What are they trying to trick you for when all the messages are about love?
Mhm.
Obviously, you don't listen. You don't never done it before, and you're being taught to fear. Spirit is not about fear, which you know. Spirit is all about love. And so they come in to try to help you in some way. So if they're trying to trick you, and then that's the evil spirits or the I don't even, I can't even keep up with how they twist
Yeah.
it. How does that benefit them? Like, I don't get it.
I also don't get
When
it.
you're
I
healing and you're feeling love, how is it benefiting them? Like, you're being
Mhm.
pulled closer to God.
Yeah.
Closer to, Yeshua, Jesus, whatever you want. Like, you're being pulled closer to that stuff. So, like,
Mhm.
how is that tricking you? It's not like it's making you do bad things. So it just the mindset, that's what I'm saying. The mind can trick you, the mind can play with you. But when you allow, when you expand, because fear shrinks. Like you were talking about your boxes. Fear just shrinks everything. It constricts it. That's what resistance is. That's anything that we experience without flow. Love expands. That's why I'm always telling you guys that heart chakra, make it expand
Mhm.
because there's no end. Think about expansion. Where does it end? It doesn't end anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what they come in with. And that's what I think the pink lion was trying to tell you.
Mhm.
That's what he was trying to show you. That's what Mark was showing me through your relationship. And it can be the small things, it can be the big things, but it's meant to say, I'm still here. I'm still with you. I've just changed form. And so we just miss the physical, but you can still have the connection.
Yeah.
Luckily, you got a lot of medium friends now that can help you
I
maintain that
know.
connection because
And
it is hard to
selfishly, that's probably why I joined. I'm like, "I wanna chat with Mark more. I wonder if I could." But now, like, it's, like, something completely different where I'm looking forward to, like, practicing and talking to other people's people, and, like, it's completely shifted of, like, me selfishly just wanting more of Mark to, like, I'm excited to see whatever spirit would like to do, because it's always cool.
I
Like,
think
it's
it's so great.
always intelligent and intentional and
Yep,
cool.
yep. The intelligence, because it's always so layered. Have you
Mhm.
noticed that? It's always so
Mhm.
layered. What would your advice be to people?
Um, to grieving people, people that wanna go into this or just, like
I just think to anyone who's grieved, because there's a lot of people who have unprocessed grief, who
yeah.
are currently grieving, who are trying to understand the why behind everything.
Mhm.
What do you what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, first, I would just say, like, if you're just fresh in grief, like, just give yourself, like, grace upon grace upon grace upon grace to do whatever you need to do, feel whatever you need to feel. Like, feel the magnitude of the loss, like, no matter how terrible that is. Like, I think we do have to go there,
Yeah,
um, and mourn what we were going to have or what we thought we were going to have here. Um, and then at the same time, like, I just want to assure you that, like, they're not gone. Like, they're really not gone. And I had to learn to trust myself in a very new way. That was something you said over and over and over again at the beginning because remember I would be like, I just have questions about doubt. Like, is this my imagination? And stuff like that. And you would just be like, trust your gut, trust yourself. And we'll talk about growing up Christian. I was told your heart is deceitful among all things. Who can trust it? Like that's what I grew up with. Like you can't trust your own intuition or you can't trust your own heart because it's deceitful and like leading you to sin and all of this and that is completely gone. I'm learning to trust myself in a whole new way. So if you're looking to connect with your people, like trust that like the signs you're getting are the signs you're getting and like it is intentional and it's real. Like and I think just like the capacity to hold both the grief and this new spiritual side is like the way that I'm going to go forward. And I just would encourage people to dip their toes in if they're curious. And even if they're not, just dip your toes in and see what
Right.
happens.
Well, and being open, it's just about being open and expanding.
Mhm,
Because for me, with religion, I think that anything that is good for people, they should do, right? Whatever that is. They have their own truth, their own discernment, what have you. But for me, doing and participating in an organized, structured religious frame, I started to question things a lot. Like it never made sense to me. How God was supposed to be unconditional and then yet punished you for your things. Like, well, if it's unconditional, then it's unconditional. Like there if you can't be saying that and then put conditions on it. So it's just I think I started to kind of see the control and how man wanted to control the divine. And I just felt like the whole tithing thing I never understood either. I realized that some people have to give what they can and others are like charged a tax essentially. It's like 10% of their income, it depends on the church. And like, I just think that that's so restrictive and none of that is about love because love
mhm.
expands. And so it's just disguised different. It's literally, lipstick on the pig.
Yeah.
And so I started to see it that way and I just pulled back, but I never stopped believing in God. I never stopped believing in that. And so, was that kind of what you went through too?
Yeah, I will say that I have felt more sure of something else being out there
Yep.
now than I ever felt when I was praying the sinner's prayer every single Sunday, hoping that, like, if I'll cover all my bases, if it didn't get it that time, maybe this time, like, yeah, I am more sure now than ever before. Um, and I just feel like if like the universe and God is like this like huge like galaxy, like Christianity is like a peephole. And it's like you have to look at it through this specific peephole when you don't. Like I am experiencing the magnitude of the love and the everything whenever I decide to tap in. Like
Right.
it's right there. And yeah, this has healed my relationship with God because I was quite pissed at the Christian God, um, who I prayed to when Mark was sick and all of this. And I was mad at this God that I used to know. And the more I lean into this source, this love, this God that I know now, the I can't be angry. It's shifted everything. And I'm very thankful that I am, like, able to, like, experience spirituality again because there was a part of me that enjoyed that and found comfort in that, and for many years after, like, I deconstructed, I felt like I didn't have anything. Like, I was like, "I don't know what I believe. I do believe something's out there. I don't know if it's good or not." And, like, I was just very cynical. And
Yeah.
there's not really space for that here. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore.
Totally. And I totally appreciate your honesty about it too. I mean, it does shift, especially once you feel it and then once you know it. It's like once
Yes.
you know it, you can't unknow it. It's not like you can walk away. It's like, boom, it just opens you up so much.
Mhm,
But your mom recently got to sit in on our little
mhm.
group.
Yep,
How in the world?
I know.
So, how did she do when she experienced that? Was very profound.
Yeah,
She
I'm
hadn't experienced that before, had she?
no, no.
Oh, what was
She's
her walk away from all of that?
Yeah, she is the same as in she grew up, like, in the Catholic Church and then the
Yeah.
Baptist Church and all of that same undercurrent. And I've been saying crazy stuff to her, since I've been doing this. Like, I'll be like she's like, "What are you doing? Why aren't you answering my calls?" And I'm like, "I'm talking to dead people. Please leave me alone." Like and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "No, seriously. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's hard to explain it." without someone experiencing it. So I was very happy that she got to like literally see it firsthand. Like it was a great gift for me and definitely for her. I mean, afterwards she was reeling, like from Jackson's reading specifically. She was just like, there's no way he would have known that. And I think she also saw the intelligence of spirit with him getting that person. Um, yeah, and it was just very impactful, and of course, Mark came through to her, and she's been wanting that and being like, "I don't feel like he's talking to me," and I'm like, "It's because 'cause you're not you're not still, you're not open," like, uh, I so I just want this for her, but it's hard for me to be patient enough to, like, guide her, so I was very thankful, and she definitely had an experience for sure.
You should have seen her face when I mentioned the stuffed animals. Like, I
Mhm,
wish I recorded. Mean, I thought about recording it, but then as I put you in the breakout rooms, it doesn't record each room. So I was like, I'm
mm,
not going to record it. But I'm like, dang it, why didn't I record that for her? Because her face.
mhm,
Um, I wonder how this should bring the two of you very closer together, by the way. I'm hoping.
mhm,
I mean, you're already close, but like in a spiritual way. And like,
mhm,
um, I'd like to invite her in again because I think
yeah,
it'll be good for her,
it it is, yeah, I agree.
in a very, very good way. So we'll talk offline about that. But I feel like your mom had an awakening of her own. Like the rose-colored glasses have been cleared, and she's seeing things very, very differently now. So keep me
Mhm,
posted on how she's doing because left unattended, that can maybe spiral a little bit. So let's keep her
yeah,
close and answer questions and help her just find the answers for herself. Just it doesn't take telling her anything. It's just inviting her to find the answers within herself,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah,
So,
that's the hard part is, like, trying to get her to be curious on her own or, like, to be open on her own or to want to dig deeper. Like, I just feel like she believes in the experience, and then she'll kind of, like, go back to her bubble, and, like, it's just hard for her to commit to being open, and obviously, like, what I'm doing is quite intense, and, like, I don't expect everyone to.
she may not even go that route, but just being open for her is probably enough, and that's
Yeah,
good.
just
Yeah.
being open and trusting
Yeah.
herself, yeah.
Yeah. And that's all you can ever ask of anyone. So that's what this episode was supposed to be about, is just being open because what you kind of gone through is quite the experience. I mean, from one end of the spectrum to the other, and it's just, you probably feel like a ping pong ball sometimes,
Mhm.
back and
Yeah.
forth, back and forth. And um, I only get to see the like enlightened, happy side of you these days. But when I did first meet you, you're quite different than what you were just a few months ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it is definitely the work that you put in has done amazing for you and your journey, wherever
Yeah.
that leads you.
And the community you put together is like safe and open, and the people in there are like, I love that everyone's from like a completely different walk of life, and we're all just curious and open. And yeah, it's been a real gift. So thank you for putting it together.
Oh gosh, you're welcome. Well, I didn't have this when it started for me. And at least I didn't find anything. And so for me, I'm like, man, but see, that's the thing is I didn't realize what the hell I was gonna do.
Mhm.
I challenged you guys last week to be like, start to think about what this all means to you and how you kind of bring it forward. And that might be this week's stuff that we kind of expand upon in that last half hour together.
Mhm.
But more so about like, I didn't realize everything has been just me following breadcrumbs that they're leading me on. So this is what they want me to do. This is their work that they want me to do.
Mhm.
I don't I don't want to be doing a podcast. I want to be working out and like minding my own business.
Mm.
Not them, they want me doing something else, and so I find joy in it, and I find pleasure in being with all of you, and I would not have met any of you had it not been for the pink lion kicking me out the door, kicking my butt. "Go, go, go. Do this, do this, do this. More, more, more." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
There's no rest there, but I am a human still, so I need rest.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, have you figured out what your thing is that you wanna do yet?
No, Cindy. I don't know. Do you know? Because I'd love to know.
I don't know what your stuff is. No. I don't even bother to think or feel about that. If you want me to plug in, we'll do it outside of this podcast,
Sure,
'cause
sure,
it's
sure.
private, but, I'll tell you how I figured it out, and maybe you
Mhm.
can do the same thing or something similar and explore what you're going to get. But
Okay.
anyway, so that way you can answer it for yourself, because I never want to tell anybody, right? I just want you to figure it out. But Keely, it's been amazing. Great, great, great interview.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
I'll have to have you back so that people can hear how you've progressed over the
Yeah.
next 6 months or so. Oh, that's a great freeze that
No.
the podcast did. You've got a very happy look on your face.
Oh my. Something is awry.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, she's got a call back. We'll just oh, there she is. Okay, we'll wrap this up.
That
Okay,
was
good. I was
crazy.
like, "She's gotta call back." I was picking up the phone to text you, but you popped back in again. I was like, "We just
Yeah.
have to put up for a second." Um, I'm so appreciative that you sat down with me today and spent the time, told everybody about your story.
Yeah.
You're pretty impressive.
Well, I
Did you
appreciate it.
want to tell people how they can contact you? If
Sure.
they're especially for your art. If you wanna show anybody
Yes.
your art, you can.
Yes, I'm still making art. I used to do that full time. I'm now dabbling back into it. My creativity took a hit, but you can find me on everywhere at Keely's Shaw Art. My name is spelled with three E's, which is confusing.
Yeah, it's KeeleyShaw,
Yes.
Keely Shaw Art. Okay, great. Well, that's wonderful. Well, if anyone wants to get a hold of me, you can email me at csmuckmediumship@gmail.com or all the socials under Pink Lion Mediumship. I'm Cindy. This is Keely. We've enjoyed having you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.